So if you do have a bit of space today to practice and a mat, that's brilliant, but you don't necessarily need a mat. If you haven't got one, then don't panic. You should be able to do everything that we're going to do today on a floor. But if it's a hardwood floor, probably want something underneath your knees, like a cushion or a blanket a little bit later, just so that your knees aren't on that hard floor. So we're going to take it nice and easy today. We're going to start laying down, and then we're going to make our way up, do some standing movements and stretches, and then we're going to come at the end just to sit and just do a little bit of breathing towards the end. So yeah, welcome everybody. My name is Adele, and I work at the Occupational Health team in Solent NHS Trust. So it's really nice to see everybody from different trusts. And I think it was Southern Health that sort of organised this. So it's really nice to be part of this well-being couple of weeks. So yeah, without further ado, coming to lay first of all on your mat. So laying on your back, coming all the way down. Let's just start just to check in with the body. Let's make ourselves super comfortable. Let your feet just naturally flop away from one another. Bring the hands beside the body, letting the palms just face up towards the ceiling. Then closing down the eyes here. So you might have had a busy morning already, and this is just your chance now just to lay down, just to take a little bit of a breather. And this next 30 minutes is just for you to take that time out in your day. So really letting your body just settle down here, just to begin. And we'll take a couple of really deep breaths here, just to tune in, just to let go of any sort of tension that we might be holding as we start the practice today. So how we'll do these breaths is we'll take a deep breath in through the nose, and then we'll breathe out through the mouth. So long, slow, deep and cleansing exhales as we breathe out. So when we're ready, let's take a big, deep in-breath through the nose. Notice the belly expanding with your breath. Breathing into the top of the head, the tips of the toes, the tips of the fingers. And then let's exhale through the mouth to release. Softening through the shoulders, softening through the face. Second breath. Again, inhaling, breathing through the nose, filling up the belly with breath. Down into the toes, down into the fingers, until you feel yourself really full with that in-breath. And then let's exhale through the mouth. You can exhale with the sound of a sigh. Cleansing, clearing exhale. Releasing any tension from that out-breath. Softening the shoulders, softening the face. And last breath here. Again, breathing in through the nose. Making it the deepest breath perhaps you breathed all day now with this last one. And maybe holding it at the top just for a second or two, just to feel yourself really full with that in-breath. And then exhale, full release. Again, softening through the shoulders, letting the back of the body just settling down into the ground underneath you. And just taking this moment now, just to check in with the body. Maybe scanning down from the top of the head to the tips of the toes, just with your attention. Just to see how the body is doing today. How does it feel? Are there any areas of tightness perhaps, or tension? Maybe some areas that feel really comfortable, easeful. And just welcoming the whole of the body as it is today. Let's gently blink, open the eyes here. Let's send a stretch along the body. So reaching the hands overhead, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms away. Let's point or flex the toes. Get as tall as you possibly can. Big in-breath here. And then as you exhale, let's bring the knees in towards the chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Just gently rocking yourself from side to side here. Just massaging into the lower back. Breathing here. And today we're going to come into our first pose on the ground. So on the floor, we're going to come into our bridge pose. So plant the soles of the feet down onto the ground. Keep them about hip distance apart. And we're going to bring the palms of the hands down onto the ground beneath us. Just lightly tuck underneath the tailbone so the back of the body is just nice and flat along the ground. Take an in-breath here. And then as we exhale, let's press through the feet, peel the hips off the ground. So peeling the hips towards the sky. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, maybe pressing into the ground with the feet, maybe lifting the hips a little bit higher. Sending those hip bones up towards the sky. Making sure the knees are not falling out. One more breath here. Inhaling. And exhaling, maybe getting a little bit higher. And then exhaling, peeling the back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing it all the way back down onto the ground. Again, in breath here. And then as we exhale, let's bring the knees again back into chest. Again, just rocking from side to side here. And now we're going to make our way up. So 2 ways to come up. You can just roll onto one side and just come up nice and gently. Or if you feel like you'd like to have a little bit of a play today, you can rock yourself up. So maybe the hands come underneath the knees and you might rock the shins back and forward. See if you can roll along the spine, coming all the way up to seated. And then let's bring the hands in front of the body. Bring the knees underneath the hips, so coming into our tabletop from here. Spread through the fingers, nice and wide, tops of the feet just pressing down into the ground. Just noticing here the points of contact between your body and the floor, so the hands and the feet. Creating a little bit of pressure down into the ground, feeling the ground underneath you, just supporting you. Let's take an in-breath. Let's arch through the back. Drop down through the belly. Let's lift up through the chest. Exhale, press the floor away. Tuck the tailbone under. Belly button draws back to spine. Chin in towards the chest. Inhale, let's open up. Opening through the chest, tucking underneath. Lifting through the tailbone. And exhale, press the ground away. Tailbone tucks under, upper back towards the sky. Chin in towards the chest. Just really enjoying here this movement as you move between those two. Just opening through the spine, opening through the vertebrae. It's really good for the whole of the back of the body. We'll take one more here. So as you inhale, opening up. And then as you exhale, tucking the tailbone under. And then coming back to neutral spine here. We're going to come up into our first downward dog. So from here, we're going to tuck the toes underneath, press through the palms, keep the fingers spread wide, press through the palms, lifting the hips up towards the sky. So keep a nice deep bend in the knees just to start off. And if you don't practice yoga too regularly, if you're new to yoga as well, just keep this nice and easy. The heels don't need to come down to the ground, they can be lifted. But what you're focusing on here is this nice length in your spine. Let the head just hang, look towards your feet. And draw your shoulders back away from the ears. One breath here, inhaling and exhaling. Let's just pedal through the feet now. So drop one heel towards the floor, bend through the other knee, and let's switch over sides. So just pedaling out both heels, just running that nice deep stretch into the hamstrings here. Just enjoying that stretch in the back of the legs. And then let's pause here, gaze towards the hands, then through the knees, and we're going to have fun just tippy-toeing ourselves towards the hands if we can. So keep that deep bend and see what you can do to get yourself towards the hands. You might need to give yourself a helping hand along the way. And once you get there, The feet are about hip distance apart. Bend the knees nice and deep. We're going to fold forward. So folding forward over the legs here, keeping that deep bend in the knees. Let's take an in-breath here. Keep the knees bent, gaze forward. And exhale. Let's straighten into the back of the legs. Bring the top of the head towards the floor. One more breath like this. So inhaling to bend, gaze forward. Option here now to clasp the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. And as you exhale, perhaps drawing the hands over the head, shoulder squeeze. Inhale, release the hands. Let the hands just flop naturally on the floor. Just let the tops of the palms just rest here. Let the head be nice and heavy. Maybe shake the head no, nod the head yes. And then we're going to roll ourselves up nice and gently. So rolling yourself up here, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming up really nice and slow. And just letting the neck and the head be the last thing to come all the way up. And once you're there, let's roll the shoulders up towards the ears and bring them back down the back of the body, open through the hands. And just check in with the body here, close down the eyes. Again, noticing perhaps the feet on the floor, keeping that slight bend in the knees, open through the chest, strong in the back, lifted to the heart. How does the body feel now? Maybe having that sense of rolling yourself up into a brand new body. And from here, we're going to come back down here to fold. So keep the feet about hip distance apart. Let's take an inhale, sweep the arms up and above the head. And let's exhale, fold forward. So folding from the hips, fingertips touch the earth. Now bringing the left fingertips in between those 2 feet. So the left fingertips in the middle, we're going to come into a twist. So plant down through those left fingertips, knees nice and bent. Let's inhale, reach that right hand up towards the sky. One breath here, breathing in. And then as we exhale, dropping those right fingertips down. Let's come on to the other side. So right fingertips planted, inhale, stretch the left hand towards the sky. One breath, inhaling. And exhaling. Dropping both fingertips now down towards the ground. Just in line with those feet here. Now we're going to step ourselves back into plank. So planting through the palms this time, bending through the knees. Let's step the right leg back, tuck underneath the toe. Let's step the left leg back. At any point, you can drop down through the knees. One breath here. So hips nice and low. And then let's exhale. Let's drop through the knees here. Flatten through the tops of the feet. Let's bend through the elbows. Bring yourself onto the belly. Tuck the chin in. Just let the forehead just rest on the floor here for a moment. One breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And on your next inhale, pressing through the palms, you're going to peel the upper body off the ground. So elbows in towards the body, just lifting through the chest here, gazing forward. Baby cobra, nice and strong for the upper back. And exhale, bring yourself all the way back down. Inhale, let's press through the palms. Bring yourself up onto hands and knees. Touch the big toes together, spread the knees nice and wide. Let's set ourselves back into child's pose. So bum coming back towards the heels, head towards the ground. One breath here. Next inhale, let's come back up. So coming back onto our hands and knees here. Bring the knees again underneath the hips. And let's just waken up the core a little bit. So as we take an in-breath, we're going to send that right leg back. So toes tucked under, right leg coming back. Option to keep the toes on the floor. And on our next inhale again, let's send the left hand forward. So opposite arm and leg. As I said, option to keep this toe grounded, or you might lift to that back leg. Send that flex foot back towards the back of the room. Inhale here. And exhale, let's bring that left elbow towards the right knee. So coming in together, everything together. And let's inhale, let's stretch out again. You might have a couple of wobbles here. And let's exhale, let's drop that down. So drop the left hand down, right knee down, and let's come on to the other side. So as we inhale, we're sending that left leg back, right arm forward. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, let's send that all the way back out. And exhale, let's drop down. Tucking through the toes now, pressing through the palms. Let's lift our hips back up into downward dog from here. Again, maybe just pedaling through the knees, enjoying that stretch in the back of the legs. And then coming to a stillness here, we're going to lift the right leg up towards the sky. So staying grounded in that left foot, lifting that right leg up towards the sky. And then we're going to see what we can do to bring it forward. So bend through the knee, bringing that right foot between the palms. You might need to give it a little bit of a helping hand here. And then we're going to plant down through that left foot. So turning that left foot on a 45-degree angle, we're going to come up here. So ground down through that right foot, ground down through that back foot. We're going to come up into our warrior one. So as we inhale, let's sweep the hands forward and above the head. Again, you might have a couple of wobbles here. So tucking down underneath to the tailbone. Nice bend in that right knee. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears. Reach up through the fingertips. And then on our next inhale, let's switch over to warrior two. So opening up through that left hip, bringing yourself in line with that right knee this time. Hands coming down the sides, the shoulders, stretching forward with the fingertips. That right knee is just tracking over that right ankle. Inhale and exhaling here, maybe sink a little bit deeper. And then as we inhale, let's bring the fingertips down onto the ground to frame that front foot. Let's turn on that back leg, drop down through that left knee. Untuck that back toe. And as we inhale here, let's sink a little bit deeper into the hips. So lifting through the chest. And then exhaling, drawing the hips back. Flex those right toes towards the face. And now we're coming into the stretch on the back of the leg. Inhale, let's come forward. Sink a little bit deeper through the hips. Lifting through the chest. If this is a little bit too much, you can bring the hands onto the hips here. Exhale, draw the hips back. Toes flexing towards the face. Last one, inhaling, coming forward. Lifting through the chest. Exhale, drawing back. Inhale to come forward. Plant through the palms, tuck underneath that back toe, the left toe. And we're going to lift that right leg back to meet the left into our downward dog. Lifting through the hips. One breath here. Option to come down into child's pose if you need it. At any point, you can come down into your child's pose just to have a moment of rest if you need to take it. On your next inhale, let's lift the left leg up towards the sky now. So lifting the left leg as high as we can get it towards the sky. And then as we exhale, bend through the knee, bring that left foot between the palms again. If it will get there, we can give it a little helping hand with the hand if we need to. And we're going to come up into that same position on the other side. So coming up into a warrior one. So this time, we're just rotating on that right foot. So right foot 45 degrees. We're seeing if we can get nice and grounded in this front leg. And then as we inhale, let's sweep the hands up and above the head. Warrior one. So bending into that front knee. One breath here. Inhaling. Exhaling, maybe sink a little bit deeper. And then on your next in-breath, let's open out through that right hip, bringing the hands beside the shoulders. Inhaling, sink a little bit deeper. Exhaling here. Warrior two. Next inhale, let's come over that front foot, bring the fingertips to touch the earth, just swiveling on that back knee and dropping down to that right knee this time. Untuck the toe, plant the hands beside the feet. Let's Sink a little bit deeper into the hips now, so lift up through the chest, just dropping the hips down towards the floor, really getting into that right hip flexor here. So somewhere that can get really tight, especially if we work at desks all day. And then on your next exhale, just drawing the hips back, those toes coming towards the face, we're just folding over that front leg. So nice deep hamstring stretch. Inhale, let's come forward, sink a little bit deeper. And exhale, drawing back. Last one here. Inhaling, coming forward. Drop through the hips. And exhale, drawing back. Maybe folding a little bit deeper over that front leg. And then coming all the way forward again, planting through the hands, lifting that back knee off the floor, bringing yourself back up into downward dog, but only for a moment here. So one breath here. And then let's exhale, drop to your knees. Big toes come to touch, sit yourself back into child's pose. Forehead to touch the floor. Deep breaths here, just letting your breath and your heart rate and your body just return back to normal. And then lifting through the head, gazing towards the palms. Just gently walking the hands now in towards the body. So walking the hands all the way in towards the knees. Just let your bum fall over towards one side and let's bring the knees out in front of the body. So bringing your legs out long in front of the body, flexing the toes towards the face here. And you might just have a little wiggle here, remove any fleshy parts from underneath you so that you can get really grounded in your sit bones. And keeping those toes flexed towards the face, you can bend through the knees if you need to here. And what that will do is just give you a little bit more space to fold forward. So let's take an inhale, let's sweep the arms forward and up towards the sky. Shoulders drawing down, and then as we exhale, let's fold over the legs. So fingertips coming to touch either side of the ground by the legs here. So not folding so that we're hunching over, we're getting nice and long in the body, nice and long in the upper body, reaching towards the feet. As we take an inhale, we might come slightly out of our fold here. We might grow nice and tall in the spine. And then as we exhale, we might come just a little bit deeper into our forward fold. One more breath, inhaling. Exhaling. And then let's inhale how we came out. So let's inhale forwards with the hands up towards the sky. And then exhale, let's bring the hands behind the body, just fingertips facing towards the bum, towards the back, just leaning back on those hands now, elbows bent, and just gazing up towards the sky. Your head might just fall back into the cradle of the shoulders there, just gazing up towards the sky, just reversing that forward fold. And then bringing the head back to center. Let's come into our seat now. So coming into the most comfortable seated position for you. And that might be kneeling, or that might be cross-legged, or you might have a cushion even underneath your bum, just to lift up through the hips. So wherever that is for you, you can be like this, or you can be just seated on the feet too, wherever is best for you to sit, just for a couple more minutes here. And as we inhale, let's roll the shoulders up towards the ears, back down the back of the body, bringing the left hand down onto the ground, so pressing the left hand down into the ground here. Let's tilt the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Inhaling here, exhaling. And then on your next inhale, bringing the head back up to center. Let's bring the right hand down onto the ground, pressing the right hand down into the floor here, just to get a little bit of a deeper stretch into the shoulder. And then taking an in-breath here, exhaling, dropping the left shoulder down towards the left ear. Nice deep stretch through the neck. And then inhaling, coming back up to center. Let's tuck the chin in towards the chest here, opening through the back of the neck. Option here to bring the hands behind the head, so thumbs facing down, the back of the neck, maybe interlacing the fingers, and just letting the elbows be heavy here. So the back of the neck is just nice and open. And releasing the hands here and bringing the shoulders up towards the ears, squeezing the shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale, let's drop them back down the body. And then just gently closing down the eyes here. Bringing the hands just to rest on the knees or in the lap, with one hand on top of the other, if they're in the lap. And we'll take a couple more of those really big deep breaths here that we took at the start. So as we inhale, let's breathe through the nose, filling up the belly with breath. Filling up the chest with breath, filling up to the top of the head. And then let's exhale through the mouth to release. Softening the jaw, softening the face, relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the eyebrows and the eye. And again, second breath in, inhaling. Let's breathe into the belly, into the chest, into the top of the head. And then exhaling with that sigh sound through the mouth to release. Softening the shoulders, all the muscles of the face. And last breath, just like that. Inhaling through the nose, down into the belly, through the chest, to the top of the head. Again, making that really the deepest breath that you can breathe in. At the top, you might hold it for a second or two, feeling yourself really full with that breath. And then let's exhale through the mouth. And keeping the eyes closed, just checking in with the body now. You might take that same scan from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. And how does the body feel now? Bringing your attention into those contact points between your body and the ground. So that might be the tops of the feet, or the sit bones, the knees, and those contact points between your hands and the body. Bringing your attention now to just the gentle rise and fall of your own natural breath. So wherever that is that you feel it most, it might be in the belly or in the chest, maybe in the shoulders. Noticing your own gentle inhales and exhales. And let's start to just bring some movement into the body here. So maybe just wiggling through the fingers. Bringing the shoulders up towards the ears and rolling them back down the body. Maybe coming into a little bit of a neck stretch, maybe from side to side, or you might tuck the chin in towards the chest, just to wake up through the head. And then gently blinking open the eyes from here.